Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Valsa Williams and with me is Renu Kataria with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address Conference of Labour Ministers of States and Union Territories in New Delhi to also interact with participants of Grand Finale of Smart India Hackathon this evening. Supreme Court agrees to review its recent decision upholding amendments to Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Delhi High Court refuses to stay the Agnipath scheme for recruitment of youth in armed forces. Centre asks edible oil producers to declare net quantity in volume without temperature in addition to declaring the same in weight. Country's first indigenously built aircraft carrier Vikrant to be commissioned on 2nd of September. Election Commission submits its report to Jharkhand Governor on Chief Minister Hemant Soren in Office of Profit case. At least 22 people killed and dozens wounded in Russian rocket strikes on a passenger train, says Ukrainian President. And in badminton, Satvik Sairaj and Chirag Shetty enter into quarterfinals of BWF Championship. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the National Conference of Labour Ministers of all states and union territories today. The two-day conference starting today is being organised by the Union Labour and Employment Ministry at Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. The conference is being convened in the spirit of cooperative federalism to discuss various significant labour-related issues. It will help create further synergy amongst the centre and state governments in formulating better policies and ensuring effective implementation of schemes for the welfare of workers. Our correspondent reports the conference will have 4 thematic sessions. These include integrating e-Shram portal for onboarding social security schemes to universalize social protection and Swasthya Se Samriddhi for improving medical care through ESI hospitals. Framing of rules under 4 labour codes as well as Vision Shrameva Jayate at 2047 are the other 2 themes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the grand finale of Smart India Hackathon 2022 today. The growing popularity of Smart India Hackathon can be gauged from the fact that the number of teams registered for Hackathon has seen a 4-fold growth in the ongoing 5th edition of the Hackathon. It has grown from around 7,500 in the first edition to about 29,600 in the 5th edition. This year, more than 15,000 students and mentors are travelling to the 75 nodal centres to take part in the Smart India Hackathon 2022 Grand Finale. Our correspondent reports that students from over 2,900 schools and 2,200 higher educational institutions will tackle 476 problem statements from across 53 union ministries in the finale. This includes optical character recognition of temple inscriptions and translations in Devanagari scripts, Internet of Things enabled risk monitoring system in cold supply chain for perishable food items, high-resolution 3D model of terrain, infrastructure and road conditions in disaster-struck areas. More from our correspondent.
A Smart India Hackathon was started in 2017. It has been the constant endeavour of the Prime Minister to promote a spirit of innovation in the country, especially among the youth. It is a nationwide initiative to provide students a platform to solve the pressing problems of society, organizations and the government. The hackathon also aims to inculcate the culture of product innovation, problem solving and out-of-the-box thinking among students. This year, a Smart India Hackathon Junior has also been introduced as a pilot for school students to build a culture of innovation and develop problem-solving attitude at the school level. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced an ex-gratia of 2 lakh rupees each to the next of kin of those who lost their lives in the road accident in Crore district of Karnataka. Each of those injured will also be paid 50,000 rupees from Prime Minister's National Relief Fund. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said that the accident in Crore district is heart-rending. He expressed his condolences to the bereaved families and prayed for the injured. The Supreme Court today agreed to hear a petition seeking a review of its July 27 judgment that upheld the core amendments made to the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, PMLA. The apex court issued notice to the centre on a plea filed by Congress leader Karti Chidambaram seeking review of the ruling by a bench led by Justice Khanvilkar. The bench had upheld stringent provisions of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act in proceeds of crime, search and seizure, power of arrest, attachment of properties and bail. Chief Justice C.V. Ramana today said that prima facie we think the PMLA verdict needs to be reviewed on 2 points, that is granting ECIR to accused and reversing the presumption of innocence in granting bail.
The Delhi High Court today refused to stay the Agnipath scheme for recruitment of youth in the armed forces. Hearing a batch of petitions challenging the scheme, the court asked the centre to file its reply within 4 weeks. Designed to enable a youthful profile of the armed forces, the Union Cabinet approved the Agnipath scheme on the 14th of June this year. It is an attractive recruitment scheme for Indian youth to serve in the armed forces. The youth selected under this scheme will be known as Agniveers. Agnipath allows patriotic and motivated youth to serve in the armed forces for a period of 4 years. The Supreme Court today agreed to hear a petition challenging the remission of the 11 convicts in the 2002 Bilkis Bano gang rape case. The apex court issued notice to the Gujarat government and the centre on a plea challenging remission to the convicts who were released on the 15th of this month. The court asked petitioners to implead the convicts as parties in the matter. The 11 convicts who had been sentenced to life imprisonment were released under the 1992 remission policy of the Gujarat government. The Supreme Court appointed Justice Indu Malhotra Committee, which probed the security breach during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Punjab in January this year, has indicted the then Firozpur Senior Superintendent of Police SSP failed to take requisite action. A 3-judge bench comprising Chief Justice N.V. Ramana, Justices Surya Kant and Hima Kohli today produced the report submitted by Justice retired Indu Malhotra, who conducted the inquiry. The Chief Justice said the court would send the report to the government for further action.
The centre has advised the edible oil manufacturers, packers and importers to declare net quantity in volume without temperature in addition to declaring the same in weight. Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution Ministry has advised the manufacturers, packers and importers to correct their labelling of declaring net quantity in the units of volume without mentioning temperature. They have been asked to implement it by January next year. The ministry said weight of edible oil is different at various temperature. Hence, to ensure that the consumer gets the correct quantity in the package, the manufacturers of edible oil have been advised to pack the products without mentioning temperature. They have also been advised to ensure that the quantity declared on the package in volume and mass should be correct. It is mandatory to declare the net quantity in terms of standard units of weight or measure under the Legal Metrology Packaged Commodities Rules 2011. India's first indigenously built aircraft carrier IAC Vikrant to be commissioned on 2nd September. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be the chief guest at the commissioning of the indigenous aircraft carrier Vikrant in Kochi. Speaking to reporters in New Delhi, Navy Vice Admiral S.N. Gurmade said, for the Vikrant, the equipment has been made in 18 states and union territories, including places like Ambala, Daman, Kolkata, Jalandhar, Kota, Pune and New Delhi. Vice Admiral Gurmade said, indigenous aircraft carrier Vikrant has 2,200 compartments, including separate accommodation for women officers and female Agniveer sailors. He said with this, India has joined the select club of nations including the US, UK, Russia, China and France to design and manufacture aircraft carriers above 40,000 tons. The entire cabling of INS Vikrant, around 2,500 kilometers in length, has been made in India, which is a big achievement.
Vikrant is 262.5 meter long and 61.6 meter wide. The carrier has a maximum speed of 28 knots and is designed with high degree of automation for machinery operations, ship navigation and survivability. The ship has a flight deck area of 12,500 square meter. The ship also has 3 galleys and 8 dining halls, approximately 2,200 compartments, including separate accommodation for women officers and women Agniveer, and has approximately 2,500 kilometers of cabling on it.
Warship-grade steel has also been made in India with the help of Indian Navy, DRDO and SAIL. Vice Admiral said it can be later exported to other countries. He said indigenization is the way ahead for the country and expressed hope that research and development organization to develop new capabilities of high-altitude, long-endurance unmanned aerial vehicle.
More than 210 crore 82 lakh vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said over 23 lakh 50,000 doses were administered in the last 24 hours. During the same period, 10,725 new COVID cases were reported in the country. India's active caseload currently stands at 94,047. The recovery rate is currently at 98.6%. A total of 13,084 people have recovered in the last 24 hours, and with this, the total recoveries touched over 4 crore 37 lakh 57,000. A total of more than 88 crore 39 lakh COVID tests have been conducted in the country so far. The BJP today accused the Aam Aadmi Party for not answering the questions raised by it on the alleged corruption charges in the Delhi excise policy. Briefing media in New Delhi, BJP spokesperson Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi said the AAP government is playing theatrics and diverting the focus away from the corruption charges levelled against Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia.
कि हम निरंतर उनसे दिल्ली की आबकारी नीति पर प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं, परंतु आप देख रहे हैं कि यह नई नवेली पार्टी एक पहेली बनती चली जा रही है. We are consistently asking them to be precise on excise, but they are doing all sort of theatric exercise in order to divert the attention and taking so many words like lotus, bogus, etc. Their main objective is to divert the focus.
Addressing the briefing, BJP MP Parvesh Sahib Singh wondered as to why the Delhi government did not follow the recommendations of the expert committee. Earlier today, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal met with AAP MLAs at his official residence. After the meeting, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson Saurabh Bharadwaj alleged that the BJP wants to break the Aam Aadmi Party as its 12 MLAs were contacted by BJP to switch sides. He claimed that BJP's efforts to topple the Delhi government have failed, as 53 out of 62 MLAs of Aam Aadmi Party were present during the meeting. He said other MLAs were in touch with the party.
In Rajasthan, relief and rescue operations are underway on a war footing in the flood-hit areas of Kota Division. Army, NDRF, SDRF and civil defence teams have rescued about 5,000 people from the flood-hit areas. Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot is taking an aerial survey of the flood-affected areas of Bundi, Jhalawar, Kota and Baran districts today. More from our correspondent.
Army is engaged in relief and rescue operations along with NDRF, SDRF in Kota, Bundi, Jhalawar and Bara district. The Chambal, Kali Sindh, Parvan and Parvati rivers are in speed in Kota division. Riverside villages in Kota, Savai Madhopur, Karavli and Dholpur districts are facing flood-like situation due to excess water released from dams situated on Chambal and Kali Sindh rivers. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has directed an immediate survey of the damage of flood-affected areas. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address Conference of Labour Ministers of States and Union Territories in New Delhi to also interact with participants of Grand Finale of Smart India Hackathon this evening. Supreme Court agrees to review its recent decision upholding amendments to Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Delhi High Court refuses to stay the Agnipath scheme for recruitment of youth in armed forces. Centre asks edible oil producers to declare net quantity in volume without temperature in addition to declaring the same in weight. Country's first indigenously built aircraft carrier Vikrant to be commissioned on 2nd of September. Election Commission submits its report to Jharkhand Governor on Chief Minister Hemant Soren in office of profit case. At least 22 people killed and dozens wounded in Russian rocket strikes on a passenger train, says Ukrainian president. And in badminton, Satvik Sairaj and Chirag Shetty enter into quarterfinals of BWF Championship. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
मुट्ठी भर अंग्रेज और हमारे विशाल देश पर राज करने का स्वप्न देख रहे हैं, पर हम इनके स्वप्न को चकनाचूर कर देंगे।
निकल पड़े स्वाधीनता के मधुभाले, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की सुनी अनसुनी कहानियों के साथ स्वराज हर रविवार रात 9 बजे डीडी नेशनल पर।
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Welcome back to the Midday News. The Election Commission of India has submitted its report to Governor of Jharkhand Ramesh Bais against Chief Minister Hemant Soren for obtaining stone mining lease in the Office of Profit case. Sources in Raj Bhavan informed that the Governor will return to Ranchi today from Delhi. The sealed report sent by the Election Commission will be opened only after the Governor returns. Earlier in February, a delegation of BJP leaders had met the Governor and demanded that the Chief Minister should be disqualified for obtaining stone mining lease under the Representation of the People Act. Following this complaint, the Governor had sought the advice of the Election Commission. At present, the political activities have increased in Jharkhand after the receipt of the letter of the Commission. In Jharkhand, all MLAs of coalition government of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha JMM and the Congress have been asked to reach Ranchi today. The Enforcement Directorate ED has arrested a Ranchi-based businessman Prem Prakash in connection with its ongoing money laundering probe into an illegal mining case in Jharkhand. Prakash was taken into custody under the criminal sections of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. This is the third arrest in the case. Earlier, the ED had arrested one Pankaj Mishra and his associate Bachchu Yadav. The agency had launched searches on premises linked to Prakash in Ranchi, apart from a few other places in Jharkhand, Bihar, Tamil Nadu and Delhi NCR, and seized 2 AK-47 rifles and 60 bullets from a house linked to Prakash. The weapons belonged to 2 Jharkhand police constables who were suspended after the ED made the seizures.
Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for the 1.3 billion citizens across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio.
Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke Saath, reliving the journey of India since independence over the last 75 years with All India Radio. From 15th August, the series is being broadcast on All India Radio, 100.1 FM Gold Channel, primetime news bulletins and across all its platforms. Tune in to stay updated with All India Radio.
In today's episode, we bring you the story of the Prime Ministers of India who served the nation from the 19th March 1998 onwards.
In today's episode, we bring you the story of the Prime Ministers of India who served the nation from the 19th of March 1998 onwards. Atal Bihari Vajpayee became the Prime Minister on the 16th of May 1996 and held the post till the 1st of June 1996. He was again elected as the Prime Minister on the 19th of March 1998 and served till May 22nd, 2004.
मैं अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूँ कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा। मैं संघ के प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धा पूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगा तथा मैं भय या पक्षपात, अनुराग या द्वेष के बिना सभी प्रकार के लोगों के प्रति संविधान और विधि के अनुसार न्याय करूंगा।
Dr. Manmohan Singh was elected as the Prime Minister on the 22nd of May 2004 and served till the 26th of May 2014 for 2 terms.
I, Manmohan Singh, do swear in the name of God and by law established that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India. Communicate or reveal to any such or such and of my duties as Prime Minister.
Narendra Modi, the first ever Prime Minister to be born after independence, took oath on the 26th of May 2014 and served till May 2019.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा.
Mr. Modi was sworn in again as the Prime Minister on the 30th of May 2019 and continues to serve till date.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा. मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा. मैं संघ के प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगा.
President Draupadi Murmu has exhorted young bureaucrats to work with passion and pride to ensure that the India of 2047 will be much more prosperous, strong and happy. The President was addressing a group of 175 IAS officers of 2020 batch at Rashtrapati Bhavan today. Addressing the officers, the President said that as civil servants, they have an important role to play in the emergence of India as a global hub of knowledge, supply chain, innovation, technology development and various other fields. She said that for shaping India of 2047, the bureaucracy has to work with a modern and service-oriented mindset. She noted that Mission Karma Yogi is a major initiative to make civil servants more modern, dynamic and sensitive in their approach. The President added that India has to strengthen the leadership position as it has taken in the areas of socially inclusive and environmentally sustainable development. She said that civil servants should be guided by dedication to public service, empathy and compassion towards the weaker sections, maintaining highest standards of integrity and conduct and impartiality and objectivity.
The Delhi government has called for a special one-day session of the Delhi Legislative Assembly tomorrow. The session has been called as political battle intensifies between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP on the alleged liquor scam. BJP has accused the Aam Aadmi Party government for indulging in corruption in the Delhi excise policy. On the other hand, Aam Aadmi Party has accused the BJP of trying to topple the Delhi government. At least 22 people died and dozens were wounded when Russian rocket strikes hit a Ukrainian town and set a passenger train on fire. In a video addressed to the United Nations Security Council, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said the rockets hit a train in the small town of Chaplin, west of Russian-occupied Donetsk in eastern Ukraine. Ukraine has spent yesterday marking its annual Independence Day, and Mr. Zelensky had previously said Russia might do something cruel to disrupt the celebrations. Earlier, he accused Moscow's forces of turning the Zaporizhia nuclear plant into a war zone that endangered the plant and the people of Europe, putting the world on the brink of radiation catastrophe. The UN Secretary General told the same meeting that the senseless war could push millions of people into extreme poverty, both in Ukraine and beyond.
The Sensex and the Nifty today rose more than 0.5% in the afternoon trade. Both stock indices added amid positive cues from global share markets. The Sensex was trading near 59,400 points, while the Nifty was trading near 17,700 level. The Sensex gained 307 points or 0.52% to trade at 59,392, while the Nifty was trading 91 points up or 0.52% to trade at 17,696 when reports last came in. In the forex market, the rupee depreciated 6 paise to trade at 79 rupees and 88 paise against the US dollar in the afternoon deals. The first Khelo India Women's Judo Tournament will start from 27th of this month. The tournament will be held across 4 zones in the country. The national round will be held from 20th to 23rd October of this year at the K.D. Jadhav Indoor Stadium in New Delhi. The Department of Sports of Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports has allocated 1.74 crore rupees for the conduct of the tournament, which includes prize money of 48.86 lakh rupees. The competitors from 4 age groups will compete during the tournament. Commonwealth silver medalist Sushila Devi thanked the Judo Federation of India and the Sports Authority of planning out such a competition for judo and taking all steps to take forward the sport in the country. She said this will really help in further growth of judo in the country. In badminton, the pair of Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty entered into the quarterfinals of the BWF World Championships 2022 in Tokyo today. The duo defeated the pair of Jep Bey and Lass Molhede of Denmark in their pre-quarterfinal match, winning the game 21-12, 21-10. The Indian duo will now face Takuro Hoki and Yugo Kobayashi of Japan. The Indian men's doubles pair of Dhruv Kapila and M.R. Arjun also moved to the quarterfinals. The duo beat Singaporean pair of Terry He and Loh Kian Hian in the round of 16 clash 18-21, 21-15, 21-16.
Principal Scientific Advisor to the Union Government, Professor Ajay Kumar Sood, has said that foreign direct investment in research and development will play a pivotal role in addressing various challenges and uncertainties posed by the COVID pandemic. Delivering the keynote address at the National Seminar on FDI in R&D organized by FICCI in New Delhi today, he said there is need to enhance the productivity in R&D in order to attain the environmental sustainability. Mr. Sood also said a huge R&D push will be required for higher economic growth in the country, and clean energy will hold an important key towards achieving this goal. Our correspondent reports at the seminar with the theme Making India R&D Hub India at 2047 witnessed participation of leaders of multinational companies, academia and representatives from partner states and countries. Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Minimum temperature recorded was 25 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be 35 degrees. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature was 26 degrees. Maximum will be 33. Chennai will have thunderstorm with rain. Minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be 35 degrees. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Minimum temperature was 27 degrees and maximum will be 34. Srinagar will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature was 18 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be 26 degrees. Jammu will experience thunderstorm with rain. Minimum temperature was 25 degrees. Maximum will be 33. Leh and Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Muzaffarabad will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Hyderabad will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature will be 23 degrees Celsius. Maximum would be 32 degrees. Bengaluru will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature was 21 degrees. Maximum will be 29 degrees. Visakhapatnam will have generally cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. Guwahati, Aizawl, Itanagar, Kohima, Imphal will have partly cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. Gangtok and Shillong will have generally cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. Some more news. A terrorist captured over the weekend from Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri has revealed that he was part of a group tasked with carrying out a suicide mission in India. Tabarak Hussain was captured by the Indian Army on Sunday as he, along with 3 to 4 terrorists, tried to infiltrate the line of control. Hussain said he was sent to India on a suicide mission by Colonel Yunus of Pakistan Army. Hussain said he was given 30,000 rupees to target the Indian Army. He is currently recuperating at the Army Hospital in Rajouri. Hussain was nabbed in an injured condition in the Seher Makri area of Naushera sector following an encounter with security forces. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address Conference of Labour Ministers of States and Union Territories in New Delhi, to also interact with participants of Grand Finale of Smart India Hackathon this evening. Supreme Court agrees to review its recent decision upholding amendments to Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Delhi High Court refuses to stay the Agnipath scheme for recruitment of youth in armed forces. Centre asks edible oil producers to declare net quantity and volume without temperature, in addition to declaring the same in weight. Country's first indigenously built aircraft carrier Vikrant to be commissioned on the 2nd of September. Election Commission submits its report to Jharkhand Governor on Chief Minister Hemant Soren in Office of Profit case. At least 22 people killed and dozens wounded in Russian rocket strikes on a passenger train, says Ukrainian President. And in badminton, Satvik Sairaj and Chirag Shetty enter into quarterfinals of BWF Championship. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the midday news.